If there's one word I can use to describe the whole month of July for me, it's flailing. Just feeling like I am free falling from the sky and I have nothing to grab onto. I recently had some news that has caused me to really rethink my business and the work that I do. And I'm now in a place of reflecting back on the last few months. I have some takeaways I wanted to share with you. So if you are experiencing a moment of transition or you are just unhappy with your life, this video is for you. Sometimes it can feel like we don't have control over our lives, but in reality, we have more power than we think. That's something I'm constantly having to remind myself of, because there are tons of things out here that will make you feel like you don't have control. And I'm not saying you can control every single thing, and honestly, for this control freak, I don't think you should control every single thing. But there are a lot of aspects of the way we live that we have control over. We have control. One great example is someone who chronically runs late. You have the control to be on time. And you're doing things in your life where you are making the decision to be late, whether you realize it or not. And there are ways that we can control or put more thought into the way we're living so we can live a life closer to the one that we want to. I have certainly been guilty of setting myself up for disappointment or irritation or just unhappiness because of the decisions that I've made. I've put too many things on my plate. I have not given myself enough time to do things. But there have been times when I've tried hard to make someone happy at my own expense. And these are all decisions that I've made that have led me to moments where I'm like, I don't like the life that I'm living, or I don't like this aspect of my life. So I believe that we all have the power to shape the life that we want to live. So going back to this month of flailing and transition, and I would say that I'm still in this process of transitioning to this new shift in my life, but I know what direction I'm going to go in. And that feels incredibly wonderful and great. And I want to sort of talk about how I got there. So I don't know about you, but a lot of times when I need an answer or I'm trying to figure something out, I want someone else to help me figure it out. I really want an adult. My husband and I have this joke where it's like something will happen with the house. For example, our AC went out a few weeks ago, and it's like we look at each other and we're like, we need an adult, because that is not us. It is not us. It is not me. It is not him. And I think in a way, a lot of us will do that. We will look for answers outside of ourselves. We are the best ones to answer the question, because really, you don't want anyone else answering that question for you, especially when it comes down to those deep answers that will shape the way you live your life, because the person that gave you the answer is not going to have to live your life. They're not going to have to live with the decisions that you've made. And while you could have a friend or a spouse to help you make a decision, at the end of the day, you're the one who's going to have to deal with whatever door or window you try to go through. So in my mind, it's even more important for me to make my own decisions, for me to decide what steps I want to take in my life, how I want to live my life, because I can only truly make myself happy. And anyone I'm able to make happy outside of that, that's a bonus. But I'm the one who has to live with my decisions. And I think one of the reasons why we allow ourselves to look outside for that answer, fear and doubt. And then let's go ahead and add in overthinking in the mix, because let me tell you, I can go down a whole rabbit hole overthinking. I can't tell you how much stuff I've talked myself out of. It's ridiculous. There's so many things I could have gone after if I didn't allow myself to overthink and then talk myself out of it. But it's all just fear. It's all fear. The fear of failure, the fear of disappointment, whether that's disappointing yourself or the people that you love. It's fear of being exposed. It's fear of rejection. There's so much fear that you have to overcome in order to start living a life that you want to live. And it's something that's not going to go away overnight. So let's actually get into how you can start putting things in place so that you can start living the life that you want to live. First is reflecting. Reflecting on your life that you're living currently. What do you love about it? What are some things that you would like to change about it? This is all what should be going on in your reflection. And you can reflect in a lot of different ways. I personally love to write. Have been writing all my life. So I think journaling is a great way to do that. And it doesn't always have to be written. One thing that I do with my dog every morning when we're on our walks is to record a 10-minute journal entry. And it's a voice message. So I'm walking through the neighborhood talking to myself out loud, but nobody really knows that there's no one else on the phone. And I just go through what I'm feeling, what I'm working on, whatever pops to the top of my head. So you don't have to write down your feelings, but I think they should be recorded in some way because it's always great to reflect back on those things. So spend some time thinking and reflecting on the life you have now, what you love about it, what you don't, and then also start thinking about what life you want to have. So once you have your reflections on what you want from your life, what you want your life to look like, and reflections on how your life looks now, including what you love and what you don't, you then try to figure out how can you bridge the gap. Now this might take some time. Give yourself the time to do this reflection. This is not something you want to rush through. This is something that could take you days or weeks to get through. But spend the time doing the reflection. While you're reflecting, I want you to not allow fear, doubt, overwhelm, overthinking. Keep all those feelings and thoughts at bay. You want to allow yourself to dream, to feel like you should be feeling like this. When you're dreaming, you should feel open. You should feel your body open up and feel light and happy and joyous. When you start to feel your body shifting in and feeling heavy, that's when you're letting that fear and the doubt come in. Or maybe that's something that you don't want to do. Maybe you are dreaming about something that's actually someone else's dream. So pay attention to how your body feels. Pay attention to the thoughts that are running through your mind while you're reflecting. You really want to allow yourself to suspend reality when you dream. Reality is not invited to the party. We're dreaming. So make sure that you are allowing yourself to be free with your ideas and your thoughts of what you want that dream life to look like. So once you've done that reflection, the next thing is to put a plan in place. How are you going to get from your current life to your dream life? That could be something like you want to quit your full-time job and work for yourself. How are you going to do that? What are some things you need to put in place in order to make that happen? Do you need to have money saved up? How much money do you need to have saved up? What kind of job or what kind of business would you like to run? What are the things that you need to have to start that business? Maybe you want to go to the spa more. That's something that's on my list. I want to go to the spa more. So you think about how can you do that? How can you add in more spa time? Do you need more money to do so? Do you need more time? How can you shift around your schedule so that you can make the time? Or how can you bring in more money so that you can afford that spa trip as much as you want to? You just figure out what it is you want. What does a road look like for you to get to that other side of your dream life? Once you have an idea of what you want and your plan of attack, then it's time to put some systems in place. And the reason why systems are important is because, I don't know about you, but you can spend a lot of time at the beginning of the year figuring out your goals, You have all of these ambitious things that you want to do, and then you look up and it's July and you're like, oh yeah, I was supposed to learn how to swim this year and no swimming lessons have been taken. You don't even have anything on the books. So it's important to keep your goals top of mind, because if you don't, you could run the risk of letting time slip away and you have done nothing to step forward to your goals. So there's a lot of different ways to do that. And I think that those systems should be catered to you and your personality and the way you like to live your life. I can share what I do, and I can also share, if you are looking to build habits and systems, Atomic Habits by James Clear is a wonderful book to read and will teach you how to adopt new things into your life. But what I like to do is, and I've already showed you, I love to bullet journal. So I don't have one of those fancy bullet journals, but for the most part, it's just bullets and words in my bullet journal. But spending time writing down your goals, you want to make sure you write your goals down. That is important. You also want to spend time sharing your goals with your friends and your family and any other loved ones that you have, because speaking your goals into existence, giving life to them, is so very important. And I almost think of it similar to how we remember people who we've lost. We can keep people who we've lost alive by continuing to talk about them. And I feel like the same way about goals. You can't create your goals, close your notebook, put them away, and then expect for them to come true. There's so much power in sharing your goals with others, speaking them out loud. If you are someone who likes manifestation, and you probably already know this, but I am a great believer in manifestation, and you're not able to manifest what you want if you don't talk about it, if you don't share it, if you don't mention it. You have to breathe life into it. So don't just write your goals down and leave them there. Once I have my goals written down, the next thing that I do is I create appointments on my calendar to check in on my goals on a certain cadence. So I like to check in on my goals every quarter or every 12 weeks, every month, and then every week. I'm not doing the same things at every one of those check-ins. So every 12 months, I'm looking at my main goals for the year. The next check-in that I do is looking at my quarterly goals, or those 12-week goals, and then looking at how I can push those forward in the month. And then every week, I'm also checking in to do the same thing. So once you make those goals in January or in December, if you are a overachiever, I see you, then you want to check in regularly on them. You're constantly moving the train forward. You're constantly pushing things forward every time you check in with your goals. And the last thing that I would say that you need to do once you've decided you want to change your life and you have a plan and you have check-ins along the way, the next thing you need to do is start making changes. And I think that can be one of the hardest things to do. You can do all of this planning and feel purposeful in it, and then you roll around a few days later and you're just continuing to do the same thing that you were doing before. Nothing has changed. All the drive to and excitement to do the thing has gone, and now you're just still doing the same thing. And it's now 6 months later and you're still doing the same thing, and you haven't made any progress towards your goals. So start thinking about what actions can you take right now in this moment to start changing your life. And I'm guilty of this. I can be quite ambitious when it comes to goals. I'm a Capricorn, guilty as charged. But even small steps can start leading you in the direction that you want. So for example, one of the things that I wanted in my business was to have a quiet Monday. I didn't really want to take any meetings. I don't want to really talk to anybody on a Monday. I just want to slowly ease into the work. Make Monday as easy and light as possible so that I sort of allow myself to breathe and just live with a little bit more ease and welcoming ease into the work week. Whatever else happens in the week, that's none of my business, but Monday needs to be chill. That's how I want my Mondays to be. And I'm not always in control of that. I do have a standing meeting on my calendar on Monday, which I actually look forward to. So even though I have to work around some things on Monday, I still have a quiet block of time. The first hour of my day is spent doing things that I know I'm going to stress about later in the week. There are always like little small things that I need to do or I need to do to keep the business running. So I'll log into QuickBooks and check and make sure everything looks good there. I will log into my bank account and make sure everything looks good in the bank account. I will spend some time looking at my goals. What content do I want to create this week? And did I schedule time for that? Those are all things that I allow myself to do on Monday to really set the tone and to really start structuring what my week looks like. Instead of jumping right into work, jumping right into chaos, I am finding a way to ease into my week. I would love to know, what is one aspect, or you can share more than that if you're open to it, of your dream life that you would like to start pursuing? I'll go first. One of the things that I've really wanted to do more of right here is to show up on YouTube, share some of my life experiences, share some of my knowledge, and I am making a point to put this as one of my priorities going forward, and I am so excited to be here, and I hope you got something good for this video, and I hope to see you back here again. Bye.